Today we're going to do another video talking about clerics.
Yeah, we're going to have faith to make this one work.
If our viewers out there, you watching, if you've got the power, if you've got the belief in us, we can be able to reveal the go-to spells.
Our belief is not strong enough. We need more, Ted.
Do you believe?
Do you believe? Welcome to Nerdarchy. I'm Nerdarchy Dave, and as always, I'm here hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Maybe it's your first time hanging out in Ted's basement. It's a place where we like to talk about views, news, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and sometimes we talk about other role-playing games.
If you don't want to miss a single video, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and attune to that notification bell.
When we did the Wizards go-to spells, we included 5th level, which is not Tier 1. Tier 1 is only 1 through 4th, so we're going to get it right this time. And we're only going to include spells from 1st and 2nd level for our go-to cleric spells.
All right, now cleric is something that's, dear to my heart. It is my favorite character class. I like having the religion in D&D with all of the awesome options that you can have, but that leads to, well, what spells do we wind up taking? So we're gonna dive into it today.
So we're gonna do the same breakdown. We're gonna do the 5 go-to spells plus 1 bonus spell. We've got attack, we've got buff, we've got defense,
we've got utility, we've got iconic, and we're gonna add in that overlooked.
All right, so let's dive into it. Our first one is attack spells. There's a ton of great choices for the cleric, but what's our go-to?
All right, so the go-to is gotta be hold person. It's one of those things that a lot of people are like, it's not that big a deal. But as we dive more into the conditions and we realized how insane it is to be paralyzed, it's just crazy. Your cleric casts hold person on your bad guy, and all the melee characters run up and just annihilate it because the attacks come with advantage, and any attack that hits is an automatic crit.
As long as they're within 5 feet.
Yeah, well, as I said, the melee attackers go in.
So hold person is actually a very old spell. It came from the very beginning, and it's always been like the staple of the cleric. So, being able to restrain people and hold them in place with your magic. It is a 2nd level spell, an action to cast, range of 60 feet, and it lasts a whole minute as long as you concentrate on it. Choose a humanoid that you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. Unsuccessful, the spell ends on the target. Now, you can also cast it at a higher level spell, and for each spell slot you go above, it's going to allow you to affect another target.
You've got multiple options when it comes to using this. Either you can do it to restrain an attacker so that you don't have to kill them. You can cast it as a higher level spell, hitting multiple targets, or straight up, I want that guy done. As I said, you cast it, everybody runs in on the thing that can attack back, and you just proceed to crit after crit after crit.
So next up, we're going to go to our go-to buff spell. There are a lot of good choices for cleric, but one of them just really stands out more than any of the others to me. What do you think that's going to be?
And that's going to have to be aid. So duration is 8 hours. Casting time is single action. There's no saving throw because it's a buff. We don't need to worry about saves. So its range is 30 feet. Your spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point and maximum increases by 5 for the duration. So 5 extra hit points, not temporary. 5 hit points added to your max and your current for 8 hours. That's amazing.
It is. There's no concentration that goes with it. You can pump this spell up to give even more hit points. And it also means when you get damaged and they get lowered, by healing, you can bring them back up and have it. So it's just a really strong buff spell.
So it's a low-level spell that you can be able to use. And let's face it, when you're getting ready to fight that big bad, who, we're talking campaign big bad, and you look over at that bard who's got 99 hit points as a max, and there's that chance that guy is going to have, power word spells. Now might be a good time to apply that.
So, speaking of buff spells, you might want to buff your game up with D&D Beyond, the sponsors for this video, which we have our handy-dandy devices available so that we can read the spells to you as we go along, which is super convenient. We're not lugging around heavy, big books with us. You know, just this lightweight phone, all the information right at our fingertips. Everything that's come out for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, that's official content, is on that site if you have it unlocked. But there's a bunch of free things you can do over there. Anything in the SRD or the basic rules is over on D&D Beyond. You can use it for free. You can build characters over there. They have articles, they have videos. There's a ton of information.
If you're trying to figure out what spells to pick for your cleric or your wizard or any spellcaster, you've got the ability to pull up your D&D Beyond, go into your filters, and limit it by spell level, by school, by source material, so that you can be able to go in and quickly look through what are your options, as opposed to, you know, as I used to do, I'd pull out the player's handbook, you got to look through, okay, what spells do I have access to? I have to look through the entire index of options of, okay, all the spells listed alphabetically. Here, I can just go through. Cleric spells in the player's handbook for 1st and 2nd level all fit on one scrollable page on D&D Beyond.
Super convenient. Jump down the description and go check out some D&D Beyond.
All right, so what category are we going to next, Dave?
Next, we're going to go to defense. So with that, we're going to go into our defensive spells, and we're going to go with Shield of Faith. There's a couple reasons why I like this one.
All right, now Shield of Faith, we're talking about a 1st level spell, so you're going to get access to it right away. It's a bonus action to cast, so you don't have to worry about, you know, action economy or this being lost. You're going to get to be able to do this. A Shimmering Field appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, which is 60 feet, by the way, granting it a +2 bonus to AC for the duration, which is 10 minutes.
This is really nice because you can increase your armor class or a party member's armor class. It's a great spell that you can use to defend yourself or someone else in the party. 60 foot, that's a great range. It lasts for 10 minutes. Only drawback, it's a concentration, but overall, for 1st level and 2nd level defensive spells, this one's a great one.
There's very few things in the game that are actually going to wind up adding to your AC. So getting a 1st level spell that you've got to be able to throw on there and have it stay 10 minutes actually has the chance, especially if you're doing a dungeon crawl, to last through multiple combats. So a single 1st level spell is going to be able to help you out for multiple. So next up, we're going to talk about utility spells. And there was definitely some debate here because there's a lot of really good options. I think this is where, you know, Cleric really has the ability to shine with utility, but you know, there's something that's going to certainly have to stand out.
Yeah, we went with Zone of Truth. We thought this would be a great spell for a cleric in those utility situations, especially for interrogations or you're trying to figure out if someone's lying to you or not. It's also going to facilitate a lot of role-playing.
That was why I really put it in there. There was a couple other things that were high contenders, but to me, Zone of Truth speaks highly to this is a role-playing spell. Whether you're trying to deal with inter-party conflict and NPC on PC conflict, or just, you know, NPC on NPC, this is a great thing that you can be able to pull out and, you know, have at your disposal. It's a 2nd level spell. It's a casting time of an action. It lasts 10 minutes. It does require a charisma save, but it has a range of 60 feet, and then once you put it out, it is a radius of, or sorry, a sphere of 15 feet from the point you choose, and you know, anyone who fails their save in that zone is unable to willingly tell a lie. That doesn't mean you can't deceive. It's up to the you know, the person in there as to how they want to creatively word their statements and what have you. But I think it can be a lot of fun. And if you've got someone who's really, you know, slick and suave, you can still mislead. You can still misdirect with telling the truth.
Yeah, you create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know whether the creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answer as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. This very much makes me think of like the classic Fae that can't actually speak lies, but they deceive their asses off all the time.
we've shared on the channel different book series that we really enjoy. And the one time it's like, oh, I can't tell a lie. It's like, but that hasn't stopped you from deceiving people for hundreds of years.
Absolutely. So next up, we are going to go to our overlooked spell. Now, this category we found a little difficult because I feel like there isn't a lot of overlooked spells when it comes to the cleric. The cleric, they have a smaller spell list than the wizard, and I feel like we know a lot of what their spells did, so we went with a spell that we consider overlooked just because we don't see it get a lot of play at our table, although it really is a great spell.
So that's going to be Sanctuary. First level spell, bonus action to cast. So if you really want to be cheesy, you could technically, attack with a cantrip and then cast Sanctuary, totally being super cheesy. But you ward a creature within range against attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. The spell doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects, such as the explosion of a fireball. If the warded creature makes an attack, cast a spell that affects an enemy or deals damage to another creature, this spell ends. Your range is 30 feet, the duration is a minute, so it's basically, it's a one combat use thing, but it has a lot of use because, let's face it, how many times do you have an animal companion, an NPC that you're trying to escort somewhere that is just there to, try to stay out of the way? It's a great spell that you can use on them if they're not going to be attacking anyway.
Or if you're the cleric and you basically want to just buff your allies and heal them, having Sanctuary on you is going to be a great spell because it's going to cause you to not be a target while you're still aiding your party and assisting in the combat, even though you're not directly damaging the enemy.
If you're the type of caster, like Dave says, that doesn't want to actually be aggressive, it is a perfect spell to use.
Also, it's always worth pointing out whether spells are concentration or not. This one is not, so that means you could be concentrating on bless and healing the party while you have the Sanctuary in effect as well. Now, lastly, we come to our iconic spell, right? So we have our 5 go-tos plus the bonus, and the bonus in this case is the iconic spell. And when you're talking about cleric, I can't imagine anything is going to come to mind before actually healing the party.
There's so many references out there to, oh, where's the cleric, and all they are, the healing engine for the party. Now, look, within 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, you don't have to play that kind of a cleric, but over the many years of playing this game, everybody says, well, that's the role of the cleric. They got to heal the party. So the best way to heal the party is going to be Cure Wounds.
Yeah, Cure Wounds, in previous editions, it's slightly different names, but it's an iconic spell. It's been there from the beginning. It is essentially what the cleric was designed to do. Even though you can do other fun, cool things with the cleric, I think, they're best known for their healing. Even in video games, they've come up with roles that are based off of the cleric, and that role is called healer. So for our first level Cure Wounds spell, it's touch, it's 1 action to cast, it's instantaneous. You don't have to worry about saving throw because it just happens. A creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to die 8 plus your spellcasting modifier. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. At higher levels, when you cast the spell using a spell slot 2nd level or higher, the healing increases by a die 8 for each slot level above 1st.
So, pretty nice. And let's face it, the die 8 is much better than the healing word of a die 4.
Yes, it is. Yes, Ted, I would say it is twice as good. But yes, that is our go-to Tier 1 cleric spells. If you want to check out the cards, you can find our go-to Tier 1 spells for Wizard. And as we pointed out, we goofed a little bit in there, but it was still a lot of fun to shoot that video. Go check it out. There's a card floating around here somewheres. Go take a look at that. Hey, do you want us to do the higher level tiers? Do you want us to do go-to tiers for other spellcasters? We got a place where you can let us know, and that is down in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
On your way down to do all those things that Dave is asking, don't forget to stop by the description and check out the link to D&D Beyond so that you can go check out all the awesome stuff over there on dndbeyond.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.